MAGA chuds have exploded in anger after famous musician Lizzo decided to play a flute, once belonging to former President James Madison. On Wednesday, Lizzo visited the reading room and flute vault at the Library of Congress's Great Hall, which would not be a newsworthy event. She simply got to play multiple flutes that were archived there, including a crystal flute that once was owned by Madison. Here's some of that.
It won't let me do it. Sorry, James Madison and his wife, Miss Madison. All right, I'm gonna just give you this.
All right. So later that night, Lizzo brought the flute on stage. She was allowed to, with her, at a concert and played a little bit for the audience while remarking that history is freaking cool. But you know what? I agree. History is cool, which is why right wingers hate it and why they had a complete and utter meltdown. Well, okay, maybe that's part of the reason they had an entire meltdown. Let me give you some examples. Greg Price angrily tweeted this. The Library of Congress really took out a 200-year-old flute that belonged to James Madison just so Lizzo could twerk with it. You know, she was playing music, right? She knows how to play it, and she's good at it. No, all they cared about was the twerking. Oh, they're twerking with it. Here's what he also said. They degrade our history and then call you racist if you actually value it. Wait, who's they? And by the way, Greg Price, did I just hear you use a pronoun? I thought you guys hated pronouns. But there's more. It gets better. America First supporter Andrew McCarthy said this. Everyone involved in the decision to allow Lizzo to twerk while playing James Madison's flute needs to be deported. I don't care if they're citizens. Deport them somewhere. It's so unhinged. Absolutely unhinged. There's more. Trump bootlicker Nick Adams. And again, this guy, if you've seen him on Twitter, Nick Adams, everything he says is pretty much North Korea level of ass kissing. Like, seriously, if Donald Trump were, president and he went bowling, Nick Adams is the guy that's like, oh yeah, no, he always bowls a perfect 300 and has no anus. Just saying. He's that guy. All right, but anyway, here's what he said. Biden administration is making a mockery of the country by letting Lizzo play the flute. She isn't talented enough to play music on a $20 Yamaha plastic recorder off Amazon. Wow. Unhinged. And Matt Walsh. Of course, we got to have Matt Walsh. He claimed that letting her play that flute was deliberately intended to antagonize white people. I guess he might be right, because all the people that have weighed in on this, these chuds, well, they all happen to be white. So I guess maybe he's right about that one. But here's his comment. Lizzo playing James Madison's flute was a form of racial retribution, according to the woke left. And I actually have no doubt that this is part of the reason why the Library of Congress facilitated this spectacle. It's racial retribution by the woke left. These people have brain worms. I'm telling you. Either they have the smoothest brains imaginable, or they look like Swiss cheese. I just don't understand. Okay? I mean, 99.5% of all white people, I would assume, are not bothered at all by Lizzo playing James Madison's flute. Nobody cares. 0.5% of the people who are angry out of the entire population are just MAGA chuds. No real people actually care. The only reason this is news is because these people are insane. And look, the reason this matters to them, by the way, is because Lizzo is a curvy black woman. And apparently that's the last type of person that anybody on the right, the far right, these chuds want to see playing an instrument. Look, I doubt any of these right-wingers even knew about the existence of the crystal flute. That was basically being held in storage anyway, right? Flute storage. And again, that's because right-wingers don't give a damn about arts and music. They really don't. I mean, every red state that I know of has defunded their arts and music programs in order to give tax cuts to the rich, corporations. And people like yet people like Walsh actively tell people that the arts and humanities in colleges, for example, are useless. It's a waste of money. We don't want to pay for them. We don't. No, of course not. Not only that, but they also hate history, as I mentioned. They want to erase it. They want to whitewash it while claiming to protect history. When in reality, they just want to protect statues of slave owners and racists. That's what they want to do. But, suddenly, though, you see, a black woman playing an old crystal flute, which, by the way, is kind of awesome. And then suddenly, right-wingers have jumped up to be the arbiters of defending art and history. And they're not. It's not about any of that. It's about the fact that she's black. Remember, one of them, I think it was Price, said they're degrading our history. They're degrading history. Who's they? Black people. That's what he means. If you're black, you're degrading history by touching a flute. I don't know, man. That sounds pretty racist to me. Look, I got some advice, okay? For all those people, they're like, how dare you? How dare you call us racist? Well, you know what? It's real simple, okay? If you don't want to be called racist, maybe you should stop saying and doing racist things. And I go back to how in a lot of those responses, what triggered them was the twerking, right? How dare she? How dare she?